When you picture a US Navy warship slicing through the ocean, you probably think of discipline, drills, and constant action. But here's the twist: life at sea isn't all about standing watch or running military operations. Hidden between the long hours and endless routines is a side of Navy life few outsiders ever see. A world of rare downtime, strange traditions, and creative ways sailors keep themselves sane while surrounded by nothing but water for thousands of miles. Today, you'll step aboard not as a soldier, but as a guest. Watch closely, because life off-duty at sea is a whole different kind of adventure. Serving in the US Navy is no 9-to-5 job. Once a warship leaves port, there are no weekends, no see you Monday, and definitely no running home after a shift. Every person on board is part of a constant 24/7 operation, whether it's navigation, maintenance, or standing guard. For most sailors, the day is split into shifts for hours of work, 8 hours of rest, but rest doesn't always mean lounging. Those hours can be swallowed up by unexpected drills, equipment checks, or even bad weather. And sometimes, a light day still ends up being 12 hours long. It's exhausting, no question, but it's also why the Navy rotates duties and cross-trains sailors in different departments. That way, no one burns out and everyone is sharp. If trouble strikes, when sailors finally get what's called off time, it's rarely as free as you might think. Instead of collapsing into bed, many use it to catch up on personal chores, laundry, cleaning their bunk, or even writing home. Other times, off hours vanish because of major events, an incoming aircraft, an at-sea supply transfer, or sudden maintenance. What might have been 8 hours of rest can easily shrink to 3. And here's the kicker: there's no weekend mode on a warship. The work week doesn't start on Monday. It starts the day you set sail and repeats until you return. In a place where alcohol is strictly banned, coffee becomes the lifeline. Some modern Navy ships have even added Starbucks counters right on board. It might sound small, but for sailors far from land, a hot latte can feel like a little taste of home. Still, caffeine alone can't keep morale high. That's why the Navy has another trick up its sleeve, something far more social and, well, a bit unusual. Imagine turning the deck of a massive aircraft carrier into one giant outdoor party. That's the Steel Beach Picnic, a rare break where hundreds, sometimes thousands, of sailors head up top for sunshine, games, and grilled food. It's not just burgers and music. The tradition comes from old British naval days when wooden ships had all hands to bathe, meaning the crew literally jumped into the ocean to wash. These days, it's pure recreation, with safer jump points lowered to 30 feet above the water. For many sailors who spend weeks without seeing the sun, this is the one time they can feel its warmth directly. The massive flight deck turns into a playground: volleyball, basketball, cards, even just lying back and watching the horizon. On submarines, space is tighter and the deck is curved, so the steel beach looks different. Sailors often head straight into the water for a swim, then climb back for a hot meal. It's not as flashy as a carrier's picnic, but in the silent, confined world of a submarine, even a few hours of fresh air can feel like gold. Some sailors turn downtime into game time, literally. Consoles like PlayStation or Xbox make their way on board, and titles like Call of Duty or FIFA become battlegrounds between crewmates. Thanks to the ship's limited internet, some even connect with friends or family back home for a virtual match. And for those who prefer old-school fun, card games, chess, and dominoes are never far from reach. Not all hobbies are competitive. Many sailors write, read, or keep journals about life at sea. Others turn to music, singing sea shanties, playing guitars, or even creating new songs to pass the time. The more artistic sailors paint, sketch, or carve small wooden pieces from leftover ship materials. Even with limited supplies, the results can be surprisingly impressive, and some artworks end up decorating the ship itself. Off time can also be a chance to level up professionally. Many sailors use it to study for advancement exams or complete courses needed for promotion. The US Navy encourages this, since every bit of extra skill makes the crew stronger. And with months at sea, it's the perfect time to focus without the distractions of civilian life. Of course, nothing beats actual time away from the ship. Sailors earn 30 paid vacation days a year, but taking them isn't as simple as booking a flight. Requests go through a chain of command, and timing depends on deployment schedules, shorter breaks. Cold Liberty calls let sailors spend anywhere, from a few hours to a few days ashore, within a set distance from the vessel. Sometimes that range is just 50 miles, other times it can stretch to 400. Not every sailor can take leave whenever they want. Rules like Cinderella Liberty require them to return to the ship by a set time each night. And for those in training, curfews are even stricter. It's a reminder that even in their freest moments, sailors are still bound by the Navy's discipline and readiness standards. Before a sailor ever enjoys downtime, they've gone through intense preparation. 8 weeks of boot camp followed by advanced training in Navy A school. Once deployed, the real learning begins, adjusting to life in cramped quarters, managing long hours, and adapting to life cut off from the outside world. Despite the challenges, endless routines, weeks without land, and the mental strain of isolation, the Navy continues to receive thousands of applications every year. Why? For many, it's the honor of serving, the bond between crewmates, and the unique life experiences you can't get anywhere else. For sailors, off-duty hours aren't just a luxury, they're survival. Whether it's sipping coffee under the open sky, laughing with friends over a game of cards, or strumming a guitar in the mess hall, these moments recharge them for the mission ahead. It's in these small slices of time that Navy life feels most human. Life at sea is a balance: hard work, discipline, and responsibility, mixed with rare but valuable moments of relaxation. Every card game, every swim, every shared meal under the sun helps build morale, trust, and teamwork. Because at the end of the day, a warship is only as strong as the people who run it. So next time you think of Navy life, remember it's not just about the missions or the machinery. It's about the people, their resilience, and the little traditions that keep them going through months at sea. If you found this glimpse into their off-duty world fascinating, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on notifications. There's a lot more life at sea to share.